in the short term, and it requires multiple visits, usually 2 to 3 weekly, to do anything to manage those symptoms. Are you starting to see how limited the professionals with any actual education on menopause? I mean, like I said earlier, it's an area of terrible neglect. Next is acupuncturists. Now, acupuncturists are a lot like herbalists. They study energy flow in the human body and they learn how to block it. Nothing about their education has to do specifically or even remotely with menopause. And like the herbalists, acupuncturists focus on specific symptoms, regardless of their cause. There's nothing about acupuncture that has to do with understanding the disease process. All it is knowing what meridians are involved with different kinds of energy flow. So it's never about future prevention of disease. It's never about disease at all. It's only about current symptoms. And finally, we have the fitness trainers. Now, a degree in fitness takes about 2 years, and it's a whole lot of anatomy, and they even study a little nutrition. And despite the fact that a large percentage of their clientele consists of menopausal women who seek their help for the very first time at menopause, not a single minute of a fitness training education is devoted to menopause. So imagine going to a fitness trainer because you're having trouble with your weight because of all the metabolic changes that occur as a result of menopause. That person needs to know what your body is doing differently because of menopause in order to help you with your fitness. It's very simple. Your body is not going to respond to the things that it used to, and it's not going to respond to the things that the fitness trainer uses for everybody else because your body has changed physiologically in a way that doesn't enable it to benefit from those same things. So like I'm doing for the pharmacists, dietitians, and nutritionists, I'm also creating an educational program on menopause specifically for fitness professionals. So think about this, ladies. Of the 11 different types of professionals I presented, only a tiny, tiny percentage of one of them focuses on menopause. So in essence, you only have about 1/100th of 11 professional groups devoting their attention to menopause. Now that is like a teeny weeny little sliver of a pie chart. That is like ridiculous. This is a terrible problem, and the purpose of this podcast is to explain to you how severely neglected the topic of menopause is, even by professionals who are available to help you manage it. That's why it's so important for you to get as much education as you can, because you can't necessarily count on the professionals to know what they need to know in order to help you. This education is not a do-it-yourself guide to menopause management. I'm not in any way encouraging people to go against physicians' guidance, but I do want you to have the education to understand everything and to be an active participant in your care. And I know of no other resource that gives you a complete, unbiased education of menopause. The mere fact that I am the only person anywhere giving you this kind of education is totally unacceptable. I am the only person who is giving an unbiased, comprehensive, fully understandable education on menopause. There is nobody else. Everyone else is either advertising something, selling you something, telling you things to scare you, or biased in some way. You have to be proactive and take control of this. If you don't, no one will. So now you understand why I chose to set out on this big mission to climb both of those big mountains that I have to climb in order to make this education available to you. You deserve this education. Please, please do everything you can to drag as many of your friends and family members with you as possible as you get this education, because we have to change this situation for women. And unfortunately, women have made it bad for themselves because they're in denial and don't want to deal with it, don't want to talk about it. This radio show is my effort to get people to talk about it more. I want everyone talking about menopause, even more than they talk about puberty. I mean, it's high time that we start acting like menopause is something that isn't taboo, and it's okay to have a discussion about it. And by golly, you definitely should be prepared for it. But when you don't know what's going on, and these professionals don't know what's going on, and your friends don't know what's going on, and your mother doesn't know what's going on, I mean, this is terrible. Society is greatly affected by menopause. There isn't a single person on the planet who doesn't have a menopausal person in his or her life. So whether it's a spouse or a family member or a boss or your friend or your sister or your neighbor, everyone has a menopausal person in his life or his or her life, and everyone is affected by this. And it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that this area is so neglected. I find it incredibly disturbing that the professionals who are specifically available to you for helping you manage your menopause don't know anything about menopause. That is inexcusable. It's one thing to have a situation where the public is misguided or has inadequate knowledge, but it's totally inexcusable for professionals to have no knowledge. I hope that this education that I provide can make a big, big difference for those professionals as well as for you. Of course, this kind of thing will take time, but the first step is for you to know how limited the knowledge and education is on menopause for the people that you need to use for your menopause. And once you know that, you will at least save yourself a lot of wasted time assuming that they know things that they don't know. Because, people aren't that great at telling you their limitations. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. When I practice medicine, when I didn't know something, I just look at the patient and go, I don't know, but I will either find out or I'll find someone who knows. And they would always say, wow, this is great. I can't believe you're so honest about it. I thought, well, I don't know everything. So I tell you everything I do know. I research the dickens out of everything so that I tell you the truth, the whole truth, and make sure you know the whole story. And I make sure that you know I'm here to help you tailor all your menopause issues for you anytime you need me. So I invite you to go to my website, menopausetailor.me, schedule a one-on-one consultation anytime you like, and know that I have all kinds of resources for you, and they're all about education. And I do know a lot about menopause. A lot of people may not, but I do. I guarantee you. Thanks for listening in today, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.